prep and the availability of those skills. So disasters and injuries are an unfortunate part of life. I mean, everyone here has at least been injured or, I mean, not been in a disaster, but, you know, known about them or had them somewhere nearby. And we all know that there's people that respond to those. There's doctors, EMTs, and relief workers. And there's nothing wrong with any of those people, but the issue arises that those people take time to get there. It takes time for an ambulance to get to an emergency, and it takes time for you to get to a doctor if you get injured, or with natural disasters, it takes time to actually mobilize the whatever relief agency is responding to that. So I like to live my life by the motto, be prepared. And that's from Boy Scouts. And imagine if the public, just as a whole, was more prepared to deal with first aid situations or natural disasters or anything that would really arise in day-to-day life. And it would just make at least if we were just talking about Denver, it would make Denver just a whole lot safer. So people can take classes, and there's organizations that people can get involved with that help prepare them for first aid or for emergency prep. One of them, as I mentioned earlier, is the Boy Scouts. It's a great organization, helps all the boys at least. I guess I can't really attest with the Girl Scouts because I was never in Girl Scouts. But Boy Scouts, it's a great organization, helps get boys, prepared for situations like that. And the issue with that is that there's an age limit. If you sort of miss the boat on that, you can't really join Boy Scouts now. Another good example of that is the Red Cross. It's a huge national organization. They do relief work for the U.S., for other countries also. And that's another great organization that offers classes. There's no age limit. Anyone can go to the YMCA and take a first aid class from the Red Cross. So that's another great organization. They offer CPR, first aid, other basic skills like that, life-saving, and they also offer more in-depth skills like first responder certification and some other nursing things. So, in fact, these things are available, but the thing is, they're not that available. You still have to pay to take these classes. You have to sign up, all this stuff for Red Cross, Boy Scouts, all that. So it's not really, it's available, but it could be more so. So I think that our community would be a lot better benefited if these classes and skill sets were more available. And if you've noticed, there's always, regardless of what city you live in, there's usually initiatives for like healthy, get healthy, eat better, exercise day, or just recently Denver had like bike to work day. So imagine if our city were to take some initiative and do like a first aid day or like some sort of a learn about emergency prep or just get people more interested in that. Just imagine how much better our community would be prepared. It wouldn't be something that'd be like for somebody who wanted to just be, people were interested in that, they would be able to go take a class and have to be subsidized by a local government. Another thing that would be incredibly beneficial is if this was taught in school. Public schools, there's mandated classes like sex ed and health, all those classes. And imagine if we did a first aid class, just basic or CPR. Just all the kids going through our Denver public schools would be that much more prepared for really anything that would be they'd encounter. CPR, basic first aid, sort of emergency situation. Also college, we have classes we have to take, such as speech class. And imagine if we had to do, first aid or something more in depth that would just prepare everyone going through this school or other schools for, situations that they would encounter outside of student life when they're actually out in the world. Just on a side note, we do have campus recreation since I do work there. There are CPR classes and there's other classes you can take there, but it's not a mandated thing and you have to sign up and pay for those. So, people might be wondering sort of why you'd have to be prepared for this. Natural disasters don't happen all that often, and living in the city, there really aren't that many natural disasters that happen here. But there's also, aside of natural disaster prevention and knowing what to do in a situation like that, there's also home life. Statistically, one of the most likely places you're going to be injured is in the home. So if people know about, how to treat, even basic wounds, people break their arms, stuff like that. If people knew how to respond to that, I think that, our community and everyone would be a lot better prepared. I really don't see a downside to encouraging this and trying to get people more educated in situations like this. Especially, it's just something that everyone should know. And as I said before, if you're injured or something and you have to get to the doctor, time's of the essence. And if people are able to respond to that, not saying it would be a life-threatening situation, but survivability would be a lot better. I think just people would be more prepared. And I'm going to leave with a quote here that comes from the CDC. Though some people feel it's impossible to be prepared for unexpected events, the truth is that taking preparedness actions helps people deal with disasters of all sorts much more efficiently when they do occur. Thank you.